everybody, and welcome back to From BA to Broadway. We're here for another episode of In the Spotlight, and as always, here are your general programming reminders. Folks, every Monday, we are here with the main pod, and every Wednesday, we're here for In the Spotlight. Speaking of which, I cannot do this alone, of course. I am here with the good old Mr. Daniel Bartholomew Solly III. Danny, what is going on?
Way to use my legal name against me. What's up? How's everyone doing today? Today we have our studio audience. How's everyone doing? More. You guys are so hot. Oh my god. Oh, you guys stop it.
Oh my god. Jeez. Oh, those folks. Where would we be without them, though?
God, they're everything to us.
Danny, what are we talking about today?
Today, I'm so excited. We're talking about Once. I feel like I always start the episode by saying, I love this show, because we generally talk about shows that I love.
You're so right.
And this is definitely one of those. I love Once. Probably one of my definitely top 10, possibly top 5 favorite shows.
Ever?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Definitely top 10. I don't know about rankings are weird.
It's a good one.
Favorites are weird to rank.
Yeah.
But definitely top 10. I love this album. It's an album I can listen to, front to back, no stops, no skips.
This feels like among your top 10, this is like your niche one. Like that's what I would imagine is that.
Really?
Yeah.
What is that? Why?
I can just see a lot of Sondheim and Golden Age taking up most of the chart, and then this one's like your kind of modern, like not like the other girls one.
Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense.
Am I wrong?
This one does feel like a little avant-garde for me. I mean, It's not an avant-garde musical,
no.
But for me, who is a devout Sondheim girly,
yes.
Once does feel a little bit, he's branching out.
Yeah.
And I guess it is.
And I'm proud of you.
I love it.
Look at you. Reaching new bounds every single week. Anywho, tell me about this show.
Yes. So Once the Musical is based on a movie musical that came out in 2007, also called Once. It was written by Glenn Hansard and Markita Erglova. They wrote the music and lyrics for both the book and the adaptation, the stage adaptation. And the book for the stage musical was written by Enda Walsh. And it's a pretty faithful adaptation of the movie. And so kind of the general plot line is that the show follows two people and they don't have names. They're simply known as Guy and Girl. Guy is an Irish busker from Dublin who recently had his heart broken. And Girl is a young Czech woman who plays the piano, and she's a single mother. So they meet at the top of the show and they're instantly drawn to each other, both romantically and musically. Girl tries to convince Guy to pursue his music career and wants him to move to New York for both his career and so that he can try and reconcile with his ex-girlfriend. They form a band so that they can record demos of their music, and throughout the course of this collaboration, they meet each other's families and you watch them fall in love with one another. And after successfully recording their demo, they recognize the depths of their feelings for each other, and Guy asks Girl to take her daughter and move with him to New York so that they can be together. But she says that the father of her daughter wants to get back together, and for the sake of the child, she has to consider that option. So Guy ends up moving to New York and presumably getting back together with his ex-girlfriend, while Girl presumably gives her relationship another try as well. And so the show ends with her coming home to find that Guy had bought her a piano and left it for her as a farewell present. And so it ends with her sitting at the piano and singing while Guy is in his New York apartment singing the same song.
Boo.
And at the end, at that point in the show, presumably the entire audience is sobbing.
Boo. Don't get back with the ex, people. Come on.
Oh, are you one of those people who don't like the ending of the show? It's a controversial ending.
No. I think it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I just don't like that concept in general as a human.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
It leaves you wanting more, but
of course.
I love that ending.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
So it is a pretty faithful adaptation of the movie. Have you seen the movie?
I've not seen the movie.
Oh,
no.
It's a beautiful movie.
I'm sure. Something
Something really cool about the movie is that it was an exceptionally low budget independent Irish film.
Oh, wow.
Glenn and Markita are musicians. They're not actors. The professional actors are not in the movie. And something I really love that I found out is, that moment, it's both in the movie and in the film, where she turns to him, and in Czech, she says, "I love you." And he says, What did you just say? And she says something else, and then they leave. That was an improv moment. It was not in the script. It was an ad-lib of Markita Erglova in the moment, and Glenn Hansard genuinely didn't know what she said to him in the scene. So that was just a very organic moment that then they, obviously recreated for the Broadway production. And I love it. It's such a chilling moment. When
that's romance.
She, in the theater setting, she looks at him, and there's every time they speak in Czech, at least in the Broadway production, there were subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said, "I love you" to him in Czech, and he's just unaware.
Damn.
It hurts. It hurts. And you can only get that real of a scene from non-actors, I think.
Of course,
it's just so genuine.
Yeah.
And so when you watch the movie, and the musical's honestly kind of the same way. It's not this, at least on Broadway, it's not like this huge, lush production with, all the stops taken out. It feels homemade. It feels...
It's so intimate. It's
not in a bad way. It feels low budget of like, we used what we had and we're putting together this scrappy musical. The musical is an actor-musician musical. I should have said that at the top. So all of the actors are also the orchestra, and so they all play instruments. Guy's main instrument is guitar, and girl's main instrument is piano. And I just think seeing a show like this is like one of the most thrilling things to watch, because you're watching, these people are incredible. They're every single person in the ensemble, they're in the ensemble of a musical, which is its own beast to just do that. And B, each one of them is responsible for like 3 to 5 instruments throughout the course. And you're memorizing the entire score.
For sure.
It's wild. So it's just like such a beautiful thing to watch. And then I also think about the swings. Imagine being a swing on a show like that, where you're covering 3 to 5 characters in the ensemble. Mm-hmm. So you just have to know every single instrument that's in the orchestration. Yeah. It is wild to me. I should have refound this for this episode, but I remember reading an interview with one of the swings from once, and it might have been the accordion. I don't remember which instrument it was. And he was like, thankfully I had a couple days notice before I went on as that track, because I had to learn the instrument.
The whole instrument?
Yeah, he was like, I had to figure it out, and I made my way through the score with an instrument that I really didn't know how to play.
That's crazy.
And that is the mark of like such a accomplished musician.
Oh my God, of course.
And so the movie came out in 2007, and then the musical premiered with a workshop at American Rep Theater in 2011, and then transferred to New York Theater Workshop on December 6th of 2011. It was directed by John Tiffany of Cursed Child fame, as you know.
Did you just say cursed?
Excuse me?
You're so fancy.
What do you say?
Cursed?
You say Harry Potter and the Cursed Child?
Yeah.
I always say Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
He's cursed.
What's right?
I mean...
Is it cursed?
Cursed is like technically a way to say it, but it's I don't know. We're not in like, I don't know.
Harry Potter and the Cursed 1800s
Child. 1800s Britain.
Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I have said that since I saw the show when it opened.
Fascinating.
And no one has ever called me out before.
That's so funny. I actually love that.
Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Don't ever change.
You say Harry Potter and the Cursed Child?
Yeah.
I think it's just easier to vocalize the cursed when you're saying it in a sentence. Is say the name of the show.
Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I agree with you in terms of the phonetics of it, but...
Yeah, so you should start doing it like
no one ever says cursed.
Oh my God.
That cursed little wretch.
Anyway.
Wow. Anywho, continue.
So throughout all the workshops and off-Broadway, it starred Steve Kazee as Guy and Kristen Milioti as Girl. And then this production transferred to Broadway, and we opened at the Bernard B. Jacobs Theater in March of 2012. They won Best Musical. Steve Kazee won Best Actor. Kristen Milioti was nommed but did not win. I believe she lost to Audra for Porky and Bess that year. Future star Katrina Lenk joined the cast as a replacement. She played Reza, which was Girl's roommate. Steve Kazee, that is, if you're someone who likes to watch Tony Award acceptance speeches like me, his acceptance speech is my favorite one in Tony history.
History?
Yeah. Have you watched this? Have you watched it?
No, I have
That's
not.
what I was doing in my room when you were like, okay, you ready to record? I just had to get a fix in before I did this episode.
Wow, you're just admitting so much to the world, and I just really
We gotta lay it all out there.
I admire your honesty.
It is just, it's such a beautiful speech. It's one of those that gives me chills. I don't know. He's just such a humble, regular guy.
Yeah.
He feels just so authentic.
I relate to that.
And his mom passed like right before the Tony Awards,
shit.
so he talks about her. So I bet you feel like an
I can't
asshole
believe
now.
you let me make a joke right before you said that.
Yeah. Trapped. Fell in my trap.
Oh, may she rest in peace. Damn.
So yeah.
Do you think his name is actually Guy?
I know it's a name. I've met a guy named Guy once.
I have a bunch of guys in my family.
No, you don't. It's a family name?
Oh, 100%.
Guy Stefanik?
I had no. On the Italian side, I had Uncle Guy, and then his son Guy, and then his nephew Guy. So I have 2 cousin Guys and Uncle Guy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Do they know about this musical?
No.
You should tell them.
Well, it's also just way more common of a name. Like, I don't think they would be really that surprised. Also, I don't think his name is actually Guy in the show.
What do you think it is? Like Steve?
Oh,
that's the actor's
no,
name. You think it's like Seamus?
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Of course.
And her name is...
Because the thing is, her name couldn't actually be Girl. Like, that's not a nickname for anything. So.
That's true.
Unless they were just really misogynistic.
No, it's definitely not Guy and Girl, because I think that's the beauty of the show. It doesn't matter what their names are.
I could not be less serious about this. I am not convinced in any world that their names are Guy and Girl.
Oh,
You're
me
taking
neither.
this really seriously.
No. Now I'm just musing about the conceit of not naming your 2 main characters.
Of course.
Don't worry.
No, I love that.
I know what you're saying.
Yes. I love when they do that.
I know that Guy is a real name. Were you joking about your cousin's name, Guy?
No, I genuinely have cousin. I had two.
Guy is a real name. Girl's not a real name. But I love the idea that the 2 main characters don't have a name.
Yeah.
It's like unimportant.
Of course.
Like the show it's like so personal, but at the same time kind of impersonal.
Yeah.
And that's the conceit of Once, right? It's like we're seeing these characters in this snapshot of their lives that's almost like an incidental passing.
Mm-hmm.
Where like 10 years after the events of this show, like, do they think about each other? Do they even like ever mention, oh, that month period where me and this girl recorded a song? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that brings me to, I found a great quote, because I think a lot of people feel a little turned off by this musical because of the ending, because it's not a happy ending. They don't end up together.
That's valid.
It's kind of a blue ball, and it's very sad. But the writer of the movie, Glenn Hansgard, talked about it, and his quote is that a lot of films let themselves down really badly by wrapping everything up in the last 5 minutes and giving you a story that trails off lovely. And what happens with those films is that you enjoy them, but you forget them because the story didn't rip you. But some films pull you in, and then they leave you on the edge. They end, and you're left thinking about it. And that's really the power of cinema, the duty of cinema, to make you feel something.
Whoa.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think it's beautiful.
For sure.
I think it's just realistic, you know?
Yeah. And it's palpable.
Like, whether we think maybe they should have chosen to be together or not, like, these characters made choices for their lives the same way that, like, we all do.
Of course.
And can't you totally see a world where you try and make things work with your serious ex rather than take a chance on a new person that you just met 5 minutes ago? Like, yeah, that's a totally realistic choice.
I'm going to refrain from answering that question.
Okay.
No, but yeah, I don't think I would have wanted them to get together in the end.
I think it would have made me feel good. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, it would make me feel great.
When the musical ends, you are left about to jump.
Yeah.
You know? Especially when he leaves for the piano. Like, he left for the piano.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. It really wrapped up that story in a way that I felt was really appropriate. And I was like, yeah, no, this is right for this piece of art. You know?
And then what's that lyric in The Hill where she says that, and you'll be just a man once I used to know.
Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Somebody.
I think.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
If they reconceptualize the show, that song could be in there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think if we just make it acoustic.
That could be like the post-bow song.
Yeah. It's on the pre-show playlist, undoubtedly. Don't get me wrong.
I I have never. I saw it on Broadway,
Mhm.
like back in the day. I don't think I saw Steve Kazee do it, and Chris Milioti. I think I saw it a little bit later in the run, and that is the only production I've ever seen of the show.
I have only seen the tour. That is it.
Really?
Yep.
Where did they do the tour?
It came to my school. It was it actually came to our Fine Arts Center, and that was like the only touring musical ever to do that in my time there. But I mean, it's a really great space for it, and it was absolutely huge, and it was like it was pretty darn sold out. Like it was packed to the brim.
Yeah.
And it was lovely. I was like in the balcony. I was maybe in like the second balcony. I was like way up there.
Yeah.
Kind of terrifying, but it was, I mean, I don't know. It's so small. Like it feels so small and intimate. And like even from that far away, you could feel it.
Yeah. I would love to. No, I saw a regional production a couple of years ago, so I'm lying to you. But I would love to see that show again.
Oh yeah,
that's a show I would love to see. I think it'd be an interesting show, like in the Circle in the Square Theater.
Oh my God!
Could you imagine that?
Yes, yes. I love the Circle in the Square Theater.
Like a good in the round intimate production of Once. Oh my! I think they'd get distracted by my crying though.
They're professionals.
They'd be like, "Sir, please leave."
They'd be like,
"But the piano."
Been there, done that.
He bought her the piano.
Literally at the end, you're like, "Oh my God."
Yeah. I think I played the wrong instrument. I'm a pianist.
Mm-hmm.
If all the guys have to play the freaking guitar, there's one track in the show that some productions they're like, yeah, you can submit if you play the piano for this track. So I've auditioned for that part like maybe once or twice.
Learn some other instruments, dude.
No.
Okay. There we go.
Glad we settled that.
And you'll never be in the show.
I know. Yeah, I freaking know.
Don't you feel foolish?
Too fair-haired to be a Jersey boy and too piano-fingered to be a guy in Once.
I made a list.
Put that on my memoir.
I made a list of all the instruments that are played throughout the production.
Oh, that's a good list. Read it.
It's actually not as long as I thought it was. It's guitar, piano, violin and fiddle, cello, ukulele, mandolin, drums, and bass. But pretty much all of the tracks are doubling in some regard. Like most of them are playing guitar. Most of them you have to be able to play the piano or something else.
Very string acoustic. I mean, it's the vibe is Irish busker.
Yes,
you know, like that's what they are.
It's very Irish folky in a really just lovely, beautiful way. And it's probably some of the best ballads of musical theater ever.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
it's really beautiful.
The super, super, super famous song is Falling Slowly,
of course,
obviously.
Of course.
I think that song, won the Oscar before it was ever a musical. So that song is kind of just known in vernacular of music. I think every girl at one point, whether you play the piano or not, has had The Hill in her book.
Yeah.
What other? Leave. I love Leave.
I feel like the only thing in like essence of music that I've ever really felt compared to this was honestly Hadestown, which I know you haven't seen. We got to get you on that. You'll love it.
I can see that similar vibe.
I mean, it's obviously like not Irish or anything. No. It's like very much like folk jazzy kind of situation, but it is just
the intimate folk,
the instrumental, the instrumentality of it all, and then like just like the vulnerability and the space in the music is just really beautiful in that same kind of way. But yeah, that's really the closest thing that I can get to it, and even that is like a bit not a huge stretch, but it's a stretch enough, you know.
Yeah,
it's just really unique in that way.
It feels very unique, and it feels like the show is meant to be an actor-musician show.
Oh yeah.
In the way where, and I love actor-musician pieces. I love that as a concept for shows. But a lot of times, like if you look at like the Company revival with Raul Esparza, or even the Sweeney revival, anything John Doyle really, because he loves an actor-musician show. I feel like a lot of times you watch those shows and you think, yeah, this is a really interesting concept for this musical.
Yeah.
As opposed to Once, where it feels that is how the show is meant to be. The show is meant as an like actor-musician show. And you can't, I can't imagine a conceptualization of this show where you would divorce that.
Oh, no. There's no need. I also feel like a lot of other times with actor-musician shows, it's like, these are actors who also play instruments, but with this, it's more like these are musicians who also act.
Yeah. And I mean, have you seen, God, it's so sexy, that video of Katrina Lenk? I think she's playing the violin and singing If I Were a Rich Man. It was like Broadway
I
backwards.
have not.
It was
No.
years ago. Look it up on YouTube. She was probably, I mean, Ray's is not a big part, but she was probably so good when she was in this. This was right before she was super big. It's gorgeous. And something that, probably because of the demands of the show, they didn't have another one of those shows that just didn't have these huge Broadway hitters. You know what I mean? It's like no Sutton Foster above the title. It was like Steve Kazee and Kristen Milioti. Something that I think is criminal is neither of them have done much since. You know?
Yeah.
Steve Kazee did a string of Broadway shows before once. He did once. He won the Tony Award. And like there hasn't been much since. He was in the Out of Town for Pretty Women, but then he dropped out right before it moved to Broadway.
Heard.
Kristen Milioti's done a bit more film and television. You know, she was in Wolf of Wall Street. She was the mother in How I Met Your Mother, which is obviously big. But
I've never seen the ending of that.
Oh, I'm not a stan.
Oh, okay. Great.
I've never seen it either. I don't care about the show.
Heard.
I'm a Friends guy. But you know what I mean? Like they headlined what has become a huge standard musical theater show.
Of course.
He won a Tony Award. She was nominated. And they haven't done much since. And I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm ready for them to come on this podcast together and talk about it.
Oh my God. Listen, y'all, get on over here.
Steve, Kristen, we're ready.
We're ready.
We're ready for you.
We're here with open arms, open door, open pod.
Yeah, I don't know why they haven't popped off in more of a way.
I mean, it may just not be their vibe.
What? Being successful?
Like
that was mean.
In like big marquee Broadway musical theater, capital B Broadway,
but they
big
have,
white
but
way.
Even in other ways, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like look at someone like Ben Fankhauser.
Okay.
Who, you know, he did Newsies, obviously the big blockbuster Broadway thing,
of course.
But he's worked as an actor ever since. He generally doesn't do big things like that.
Yeah.
Like he has worked on developmental musicals. He works regionally. He works in off-Broadway venues all the time. So he's like easy to miss, but if you look into him a little bit more, you know, he's working.
For sure.
He works all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was looking up these two. They haven't really touched theater much since once. And
Heard.
I don't know. I love them and I just wish they were in more.
And you know what? That's valid.
Thank you.
You should write to them.
Thank
you. Should tell them that.
I don't know how to justify that to you, but thanks for
you literally did
calling it valid.
not. You did not have to justify that. That is so fine.
All right, fine. You know what did let me down about this musical?
What?
Is the Tony performance.
What did they do for their Tony performance?
I think they did Sleeping.
Okay.
They did not the act, the song.
Yeah.
They did a weird number that I don't think showcased the musical very well. One of my favorite songs from the show is When Your Mind's Made Up. You know that song?
Yeah.
I love that song. I think it's gorgeous. Orchestrations, harmonies, everything's gorgeous about it. It's one of those songs that is just like wall of sound hitting you in the audience. And I don't know why they didn't do that, or at least Falling Slowly. We don't get a great Tony performance from them.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because it is also another one of those shows, not a lot of bootlegs.
No, there's not.
There's really not much from the show that we can watch. We have a movie, obviously, and I highly recommend because the movie is great. I mean, the movie is the source material. They're very similar. We'll watch the movie.
Okay, great.
But you can't find that much on YouTube of the musical.
I feel like YouTube's also like, I feel like it's harder to find bootlegs in general nowadays. I'm starting to struggle a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, for the ones that I want to see. Anything that's like happened before the year 2015, I'm like having a hard time finding. Even Reddit's letting me down lately.
You find bootlegs on Reddit?
I find anything on Reddit.
I've never used Reddit for bootlegs.
Oh, Danny.
I'm a very, very new Reddit user.
Okay.
I downloaded the app like weeks ago.
Anytime, I mean, even just on the internet browser, like anytime you need actual information about anything, Reddit. 100%. That's where you get the cold hard facts. That's like my quote unquote like dark internet is just Reddit, you know?
I'll use that term.
Like whenever I'm like, I need to find this bootleg that is obviously an illegal thing to have, but I need to see this musical. I'm like,
Reddit for bootlegs.
I mean,
I've been using them to read like reviews because you get honest opinions.
Of course.
So it's a good place for reviews. I never knew you could find boot.
100%.
I'm going to become Reddit's biggest fan.
Like literally any information you actually need to know and Google's not getting you there, you then just finish the search. You just insert the word Reddit.
Oh my God.
Bam.
Interesting. It's I don't know why I never used Reddit. It just wasn't one of those things that was in my periphery.
Yeah, there you go.
Huh.
Pro tip.
Yeah, it's
audiobooks,
the bootleg game could be tough.
PDFs of scripts of everything.
There have been several times over the years where I have actively looked for once bootlegs, and you can't find them.
You might be able to find it on Reddit. Also, Tumblr. That used to be a well of... I never had a Tumblr, but I made an account one day to get bootlegs of things.
Mm-hmm. I never used Tumblr either. All I know is that people use it for porn, or they used to, right?
Yeah, way back in the day. I don't think I had a Tumblr until maybe
that's why
4 years ago.
Like stopped using Tumblr, right? Because they cleaned it. And people are like, well, that's the reason I'm on it. I never used. I made a Tumblr in college because I did a musical about, and this is 100% true story. This is a tangent, not about Once, not affiliated with Once. There was a whole Tumblr community called the Columbiners. Do you know about this?
Oh, God, no.
And it is about a community of online people on Tumblr who, what's the word I want to use? I guess romanticize Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris, who were the two shooters in the Columbine massacre.
That's disgusting.
And the idea of the Columbiners they're not people who are like, oh my God, I want to shoot and kill people.
Yeah.
They are people who are outsiders and they can sympathize. And their whole thing is, I do not condone, but I understand how you can be so pushed to the edge to make that leap.
Yeah, that's gross.
And so I was in a musical about the Columbiners.
Oh my God.
And we all made Columbiner Tumblr pages as part of like character research. And so that's my...
Was that a student written piece?
No.
Oh my God.
Honestly, it was it was the best. It was, we could talk about it more in depth later. It was the best thing I've ever worked on.
Crazy.
But,
okay.
I learned a lot.
Great.
Hardest score I ever had to learn. Blah, 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 blah. Amazing show.
We'll put a bookmark in that because I definitely want to hear about that.
That is my experience with Tumblr.
Interesting. Okay.
The Columbiners. And then we disabled our Tumblrs because I think some of the real Columbiners started messaging us.
Oh, yeah.
Because they thought that we were real Columbiners.
Of course.
And we were like, oh, let's not interact with these people.
Yes.
But I think when they cleaned up the porn, they also got rid of the Columbine community.
I think that's for the best.
So that musical is a period piece now.
Disgusting. Disgusting, vile. Okay. Anywho, Once.
So Once the musical.
Yeah. There's some great ballads for your book.
Yeah, I think a saving grace of Once, probably A, the actor music thing, and B, it's a hard sing.
Oh my God.
You know, like Guy's solo song "Leave" at the top of the show. I love that song, gorgeous song. It's really hard. It's really high. You got to have a strong falsetto. And so I think that's the saving grace of why we haven't been overwhelmed with renditions of that music.
For sure. Don't tell the tenors. They'll be all over that shit.
The tenors will be all over that
shit.
If you're a tenor, keep scrolling. Yeah. Everybody else, listen. I'm trying to think what other music is in there. There's the other Guy song that I really like too.
Hoover, Fix It Man. Love. Fix It, Felix. Love.
When she's like, my Hoover does not suck.
Yeah. Brilliant.
You make my Hoover suck and I play a song for you.
He said, I am a Hoover sucker. I'm just a sucker.
A Hoover fixer sucker guy, right?
I'm a sucker for you.
I'm a sucker
by
of
the
a guy.
Jonas Brothers. Yep.
It's so smart. The
oh my God,
so
it was
good.
Absolutely brilliant.
Lyrics are so good. Not the lyrics that we just said because we shit all over it, but the real ones are so good.
For sure.
It's a beautiful album too.
Yeah.
I think the thing that draws me to it, you know, against all of my base instincts, is that it doesn't feel too musical theatery.
Are you okay?
I know.
Somebody called the police.
If you ever want to feel like you're listening to regular music, just listen to Once.
Oh my God. You know what else you could listen to? Regular music.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Yeah, great show. People, I feel like people still do it regularly enough. You know?
I feel like it gets done regionally.
I'd say I see it once or
does.
twice a season in breakdowns or whatnot, which
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need any more of it, or else it wouldn't be what it is, you know?
Yeah. Another one, selfishly, it probably won't happen. I would love obviously our Circle and Square production.
Oh, yeah.
Where Guy plays the piano, obviously.
Yeah.
And he's Italian. It's just like, if I put it out there, maybe it'll happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love just an intimate New York production of Once.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
For sure.
Yeah. Who is the famous, you probably know, you're a nerd, the Doctor Who guy who was in it for a long time? You know. I know you know.
Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's Doctor Who?
Arthur Duvall?
Oh, I actually don't know. I'm not a Doctor Who person.
Oh my god, that's shocking.
Sorry about
You
that.
gotta get on that.
I've delved.
There's a
I just
fandom
haven't.
you're not a part of?
That's so gross of you to say.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. You have no reason to talk, okay? The way you get off about musical theater and every single episode we do, you have
one fandom.
You have
That's one fandom.
It is a fandom full of
Sondheim
fandoms.
girlies, get them.
It is a
Get them.
sub fandom. There we go. Already. Pop culture.
Arthur Duvall. I think that's who I saw in Once, actually.
Okay.
He's very famous, supposedly.
Okay.
So I
great.
think that was their big star cast. Because they didn't star cast. And then you don't need to for Once.
Nope.
Because it's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's a nice little bow on Once, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know. Anything else you have to say about the show?
No. Go watch it. Go see it.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
I feel like sometimes there's not much to say besides
Yeah.
I love it.
When you're having like a kind of like slightly moody like main character kind of day where you just want to put on your headphones and walk down the sidewalk and be unnoticed but still feel like the main character, this is the
It's raining.
Yep. Oh
Pop
my
it in.
God.
I would love a Once vinyl.
I'm sure it exists.
Oh, 100%. But I feel like that would just it set the mood.
Yeah.
You know, you put on.
Don't look for it.
It's
I'm gonna write that
raining.
down for your birthday.
It's raining. I have like a mug of coffee. I put in my Once vinyl.
Mhm.
Steve Cassie croons me while I lay in bed. While I ponder, where he's been.
Oh
Actually,
my
he
God.
just had a baby. Congrats, Steve. I know.
Absolutely. Could be yours when they get a divorce.
I don't wish that on him.
Oh, okay.
You know who he did date for like 7 years?
Who?
Megan Hilty.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah. Like years and years and years.
You know what? That happens.
Of Smash fame.
Of Smash fame.
And we are slowly making our way through Smash.
We gotta pick that up,
For
and I
those
think
following along.
I think we need to do some bonus content of you experiencing Smash for the first time.
I don't know. I feel like I have commentary during it.
That's fine. I don't mean at the same time. I
Good.
just mean like you're
Okay.
after
Filtered thoughts.
after the episode prediction.
I want to give my filtered thoughts, not my unfiltered thoughts.
Okay, great. Love that.
Because I want someone playing Marilyn who's not a Republican. Sorry, Catherine McPhee.
Listen, we didn't know at the time. We did not know.
We do now.
Yeah. It's coming to Broadway. They have their second chance.
Is it though?
Smash?
I feel like it's been coming to Broadway for like 10 years.
They cast. It's rehearsing.
What?
They just cast it.
Like fully? Who's in it?
I don't remember who's on. I think
Is it famous people?
yeah, for the most part. They had when they did the EPA, the only role that was available was Karen.
She's Megan Hilty or
Catherine McPhee.
Catherine McPhee.
Yeah.
Do you think Megan Hilty's gonna do it?
No.
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 Do you think Kristen Milioti is free?
I don't. Robin Herder did it in the pre-Broadway.
Wasn't it Robin Herder and Carrie Butler?
I don't know who played Karen, but I know Robin
And
was.
Carrie Butler. It was the two of them.
Gotcha. Anywho, yes, we'll get you some bonus content for Smash. Danny's watching it for the first time.
Very slowly.
Yeah.
You know.
We can pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and you also started showing me High School Musical, the series.
Oh, we definitely need to do bonus content on that for sure.
Yeah, for someone who's such a, MTFAG, I don't know why I can't say it on this podcast. I say it every day.
I mean, it's a slur, so maybe we shouldn't say it on the podcast, even if you do identify with
all
it.
of these like gay ass musical TV shows just passed me by.
Yeah, we're gonna
I
get
feel
you
like
cultured.
there's a small part of me that can't be too on brand.
Yes.
Like I'm Olivia Rodrigo stan. I know every word to Sour.
Okay,
Let me be
great.
clear on that.
Mhm.
I'm Team Olivia.
Well, just wait till you hear.
Julia Lester should have won that Tony Award for Into the Woods. But God forbid I care about them in High School Musical.
Just wait till you hear their original songs.
What's her
in
name?
The series.
Who's the teacher?
Um,
Kate Renders, right?
Kate Renders, yes.
My second Glinda.
Yeah.
When I saw Wicked in like 2000 whatever.
That's such a good role for her.
I saw her and Anna Gasteyer do it.
Damn.
Together. My first was Shoshana Bean and Megan Hilty.
Iconic.
Let's tie in the episode.
Oh, whoa.
My third could be Kristen Milioti if she got off her ass and got back to Broadway.
Oh my God.
Just kidding. She's an Essa.
That was so aggressive.
She's an Essa. Come on.
That was so aggressive.
Come on. She's an Essa.
Okay. Sure. Okay, folks. That is going to be us ending this episode.
That's going to be our once episode.
Yes, of In the Spotlight.
Watch the movie. Listen to the soundtrack. If you can find a bootleg, for the love of God, send it to me. Please. I've been on a hunt.
in Danny's DMs.
I've been on a hunt for the bootleg for years and I can't find it.
Folks, as always, if you want to choose what we're talking about, come find us on Patreon. That is patreon.com/BA2Broadway. All principal tier Patreon members get to choose an episode for us, and we'll give you a shout out. We'll talk about it, and it can be anything. We will review anything if you do that for us.
Bonus, if it's Sondheim, Brennan will Venmo you $5.
That's not true.
It's true.
That's kind of counterproductive to the Patreon. We'll think about it. I'll think about
it's
it.
Incentive, you know?
Yeah.
It's incentive. Come on, sales. You got to learn sales.
Yes. The way to sell, give out money.
Give out your money.
That's probably why my financials are in the way they are right now. Anywho, folks, as always, you can find us on most social media platforms at BA2Broadway. You can find me at Brennan Stefanik.
You can find me at DSauls.
And until next week, folks,
bye.
Peace out. See you later. From BA to Broadway is created, produced, and edited by Brennan Stefanik, music by Dylan Kaufman, and cover art by Jordan Vongsithi.